Hello everybody, I'm Gary from Phoenix Perennials, and this is part 2 of a tour around the nursery, a little walkabout, just to show you the nursery in general and all of our sections. So in part 1 we saw the display area, and now we are going to go to the world of the field, which is where we have our main sections that are all alphabetized by botanical name. And don't be scared of botanical names, actually, because even new gardeners know a lot of botanical names. Things like astilbe, hosta, gardenia, all kinds of stuff like that. Those are actually botanical names. So lots of gardeners speak Latin. So at Phoenix Perennials, we grow about 70 to 80% of all of our perennials ourselves. And so there's lots of fun things around here. And out in the field is where you can have see this pretty vast and exciting selection. So without further ado, let's go for a little walk. So this is what we call the central aisle at the nursery, and right now it's a little bit of a maple alley. These are lots of great maples that we still have after our May Maple Mania. And on either side of this we have our main sections. So let's deke through some of these little maples and we'll get an idea. So at the front of the nursery we start off with our section A, and then towards the back we end with Z. So we're right up here with the A's. And way back down there we end with the Z's. So there's probably about 100 or 150 feet of sections, all alphabetical, all filled with all kinds of perennials. There's all kinds of great stuff coming up these days. It's the height of spring, the height of growing season, the height of gardening season. So there's all kinds of color and all kinds of ebullient foliage and plants ready to go. If we go back out to the central aisle, we can head towards our shade section. There we have some more maples from our May Maple Mania. You can see May Maple Mania continues throughout the season here at the nursery. So going into our shade section, we have all the plants for the cooler and darker areas of the garden. Also, everything is alphabetical. So we've got columbines blooming, ladies' mantles and astilbes. And here's the rest of the section. Lots of brunneras, all kinds of different kinds, and silvers and golds. There's the orange of the sweet tea heucherella. Lots of hellebores out here, of course. Epimediums, dicentras. We have a nice hostas section with all kinds of tried and true, as well as unusual hostas. And then towards the end of the shade section, we have our shade shrubs. So in this area we have lots of deciduous and fragrant azaleas, we have kalmias, we have a lot of neat hydrangeas, and one of our favorite groups, we have a whole bunch of different kinds of species rhododendrons. Species rhododendrons have really neat foliage, and then of course the classic rhododendron flowers. So we have foliage that comes out with silver hairs. We have foliage like Sinogrand, which can be 3 feet long when fully mature. The leaves actually emerge looking like copper. And there's some other neat rhodos. That's probably Rex, if I'm guessing correctly. You can see the silver leaves coming out. And you can see other neat rhodos, all with cool foliage, which gives you lots of foliage interest, as well as the classic flowers. After the shade section, we have our grass section, and so this is filled with all kinds of different colorful grasses that will give you movement and texture in the garden. Once we leave the grass section behind, we enter the sun shrubs. And so this section is also alphabetical, and it's filled with all kinds of tried and true, as well as interesting shrubs for the sun. The Technicolor gold of the choisia. We've got the brooding purples of the Henry Lauder's walking stick. It's a contorted hazelnut called Red Majestic. A nice bright orange new growth of crepe myrtles. Nandinas, the heavenly bamboos that everybody's terrified of when I call it a bamboo. And then I have to tell them it's not a bamboo at all, it's just the common name. All the way to some roses, and even some lilacs coming into full bloom. At the end of the field, we have our pavilion, which was designed and built by an excellent local landscaper and builder named Kevin Paitko. And this was first in the 2009 International Rose Festival display garden that we did. And then we moved it here to the nursery. Here we are at the end of the alphabet in the sun section. So back here we have some bamboos, and then we have all the yuccas. You can see over there in the field we've got our beehives. And we are back to the sun perennial section, only at the other end. So at this end we see lots of great sedums. I can see lots of phloxes and rosemaries, sages, Russian sages, peonies, and all kinds of fun stuff. I hope you've enjoyed this little walkabout of our field area and the whole half acre of botanical bliss, which is Phoenix Perennials. I'm Gary, and happy gardening.